Robert Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds.
Actors are finally speaking out about what it was really like working with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. From Robert Downey Jr. shutting Ryan down to Deadpool's own creator, Rob Liefeld, walking away from Marvel in frustration, the stories are piling up. Fellow A-list celebrities have openly called Ryan out, and it's not just rumors anymore. Marina Barkin has stepped forward to reveal exactly what went down on the set of Deadpool that got her kicked off, and if you thought TJ Miller's accusations were wild, this new info is on a whole different level. You're also about to learn the extreme lengths Ryan allegedly went to in order to try and end Justin Baldoni's career, showing a ruthlessness most people wouldn't believe. At this point, Hollywood's golden couple is starting to look less like a power duo and more like a carefully curated PR illusion. The big question remains, how did they get away with this for so long? Grab your popcorn. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's dive in.
Ryan Reynolds was the leader in this. I believe that. I believe Ryan Reynolds was the leader and is the leader in everything that she does. So should we be compassionate? And the answer is no. My friends, we obviously should not be compassionate. That's not how this works, okay? When you get caught doing something that is purely evil, the task is not on the people who caught you doing that thing to extend forgiveness to you when you have not asked for.
As we've mentioned before, Robert Downey Jr. wanted absolutely no part of Ryan Reynolds' plans, and the reason might surprise you. Sources now reveal that after Ryan took over all creative decisions on Deadpool and Wolverine, he aimed to stack the movie with big-name cameos. And who better than Robert Downey Jr.? I mean, could there be a bigger flex than dropping Iron Man into your film? But when Ryan reached out, RDJ shut it down immediately. According to a Variety article, Deadpool and Wolverine co-writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick explained in an IndieWire interview that Robert Downey Jr. was approached to reprise Tony Stark/Iron Man for a cameo in Marvel's record-breaking blockbuster. Downey flat-out declined. On paper, it might look like a simple no, but multiple insiders say there was far more to it. Some suggest RDJ immediately sensed something off about Ryan's approach, recognizing how he was treating others in the industry. He didn't even consider entertaining the idea, essentially dodging a potential disaster. This wasn't just paranoia. Chaos on the Deadpool set had already reached legendary levels. Tim Miller, the original director, walked away citing creative differences with Ryan. Hollywood insiders say that Ryan's toxic behavior wasn't breaking news. It had been quietly noticed for years. RDJ, clearly, wasn't about to step into a powder keg. And while Ryan has a habit of inserting himself into projects like a one-man PR machine, Downey saw through it and said no. Plain and simple, here's where it gets even wilder. The role Ryan had planned for RDJ wasn't an afterthought. Writers had carefully designed a whole scene around him and Jon Favreau, meant to fit seamlessly into the Avengers timeline. RDJ's character was perfectly slotted to appear before Infinity War. Despite all this planning, Downey walked away without a second thought. Wernick later told IndieWire, "We wanted him to do a cameo. We had written that scene with Happy and Downey in mind." And just like that, the Deadpool and Wolverine co-writers may have inadvertently exposed Ryan. Reese admitted that Ryan personally wrote the scene with both of them in the hopes that they could land Downey. Of course, Ryan always finds a way to make himself the center of attention. The screenwriters were doing their jobs, but Ryan's agenda was clear. He never stays in his lane. He wrote that cameo scene knowing full well it would be the highlight of the movie and that every headline would scream, "Ryan Reynolds got Iron Man in Deadpool." Interestingly, the whole situation got brushed under the rug when the Deadpool team later explained that Downey had simply turned down the offer. But the writers now see it differently, especially as Downey returns to Marvel in a dramatically different role as Dr. Doom. No one on the Deadpool and Wolverine team was aware of this curveball, but it's becoming obvious to outsiders. RDJ is probably not on Team Justin Baldoni. He's Team Keep Me Out of This. Industry insiders point out that Downey seems to have a sixth sense when it comes to high-profile disputes. He famously supported Johnny Depp during his trial, correctly reading the dynamics of power and manipulation. Similarly, He likely recognized the dynamics on Deadpool and decided to steer clear. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds continues to corner the market on juvenile humor, relying on 14-year-old jokes as his signature style. Proof, some say, that he's more about flexing creative control than respecting his cast, crew, or collaborators. At the end of the day, our DJ's decision to walk away says it all. Even legends know when a situation is too chaotic to risk. And while Ryan may have thought bringing Iron Man into his movie was a masterstroke, the truth is that his reputation for creating chaos might have cost him one of the biggest cameos imaginable. Hollywood insiders are watching closely, and the fallout from this story is far from over. This person just wanted Ryan Reynolds to show some respect. RDJ's name carries weight, and no one messes with him. Robert Downey Jr. is a true comeback story, an American treasure. Sure, the team managed to sweep the RDJ situation under the rug, but what Ryan can't spin is why Deadpool's very own creator, Rob Liefeld, completely walked away from Marvel, citing mistreatment. If Ryan was really such a pleasure to work with, why did the man who literally birthed Deadpool decide he was done? Let's break it down. To be fair, Rob's exit from Marvel wasn't solely about Ryan Reynolds, but it's impossible to ignore the influence Ryan had in the whole situation. Variety reported on February 6, 2025, in an article titled, Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld vows to cut ties with Marvel after Deadpool and Wolverine premiere issues, that Liefeld officially severed all ties with the studio after he and his family were excluded from Disney's afterparty for the previous July premiere. Sound familiar? One can't help but wonder if Blake Lively took inspiration from this, locking Justin Baldoni and his family out of similar events. Liefeld had other grievances too. He complained about the placement of creator credits in the film and perceived disrespect from studio chief Kevin Feige. He attended the screening at Manhattan's Lincoln Center, posed on the red carpet with the Deadpool and Wolverine creative team, only to find that the photos were deleted before posting anywhere. Again, this echoes what happened with Marina Barkin from the first Deadpool. She was conveniently excluded from the sequel after allegedly disagreeing with Ryan. Marina was spotted alone on the red carpet, without any cast or crew around her. She didn't have a single official photo with the Deadpool team at the premiere. Now, the story gets even worse. Liefeld, the very person responsible for creating the Deadpool franchise, was treated in the same icy way. No after-party invite for him, no invitations for his family, and photos of him on the red carpet were completely deleted. How do you erase the person who made the entire franchise possible? The parallels are striking. Both Marina and Liefeld, pivotal figures in Deadpool, were sidelined when the spotlight was on Ryan Reynolds. The pattern is clear. Key creators and collaborators who disagree or threaten Ryan's control get quietly erased. Excluding Rob Liefeld, the very architect of Deadpool, from celebrations, photos, and official recognition is more than disrespect. It's a deliberate message about who wields power in the Ryan Reynolds era, and yet, the story keeps unfolding. What should have been a celebration of collaboration turned into a cautionary tale about celebrity influence, creative control, and erasure in Hollywood. Deadpool wouldn't exist without Liefeld, and yet he, along with Marina, were treated as if they didn't. It's the kind of backstage drama that exposes the hidden toxicity behind even the most beloved franchises.
If he wants to go after you, he infests himself into every area of your life. And he did this Justin Baldoni. He's like, who are your friends? Okay. Who owns the production company? Who owns the next movie script? I am going to infest myself everywhere. I'm going to be doing your movie premiere. I'm going to be doing promos and making fun of you.
Rob Liefeld later revealed that his experience at the New York City premiere was designed to embarrass, diminish, and defeat him. On the latest episode of his Robservations podcast, he explained that his representatives tried to get the Liefeld family into the afterparty, but Disney's publicity team ultimately denied them entry. Disney is the deciding factor here, Liefeld said. They told us, you and your family are not welcome here. We tolerate you for the screening. At that point, I knew in my heart I couldn't continue. We all know Marvel has its share of controversies, but Ryan Reynolds cannot be absolved from this. This all happened on Deadpool, the franchise that Reynolds is literally the face of. The fact that Liefeld reached his breaking point on this very project speaks volumes. Ryan had already taken over creative control, and the set atmosphere was reportedly toxic. And what are the odds Marvel would allow him to dominate unless they were aligned with his style of control? It's also worth noting that there's no evidence Ryan tried to smooth things over or implement positive changes. Instead, the same tactics of sidelining or punishing anyone who disagreed with him on Deadpool seem to have been repeated in other projects, most notably on It Ends With Us. Reports indicate that Ryan inserted himself into Blake Lively's project not just as a supporter, but with the apparent aim of getting Justin Baldoni removed. According to one article, during the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere afterparty, Wayfair Studios was informed that Reynolds approached a senior WME executive to express his disdain for Baldoni. He reportedly suggested that the agency was aligned against him, and shortly after, WME dropped Baldoni as a client immediately following Blake's legal filings against him. This incident highlights the immense influence Reynolds wields, demonstrating how his funny guy persona masks an unprecedented level of Hollywood power. At this stage, the lines between personal vendetta, professional influence, and legal maneuvering have blurred. Ryan's interventions, both on Deadpool and It Ends With Us, show a consistent pattern of leveraging clout to control outcomes. Fans and industry insiders alike are starting to see through the charm, revealing that the story behind the camera is far more manipulative and calculated than anything portrayed on screen.